Okay, I've been asked to solve a couple of questions from 11.13, so I'm going to start with question 2C. Now, I've been asked to get u by itself, so the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this second fraction that's in the way. It's currently adding, so I'm going to subtract it on the other side. Now, this is a tricky question. So from here, it might be a little bit unclear what to do, but the first thing I'm going to do is combine these fractions into a single fraction. We want to simplify as much as possible, and that means using one fraction instead of two. So to put the two fractions together, I need common denominators, right? So that means I need to multiply this fraction by v, top and bottom, and this fraction by f, top and bottom. So if I do that, I get v times 1, which is just v, over vf. Actually, we should write fv, shouldn't we? Because we should write it in alphabetical order. Fv minus f times 1 is just f, over same thing, f times v. All right, now what I'm going to do is bring, well, first of all, I'm going to combine these, right? So now that the denominators match, it's just v minus f over vf equals 1 over u. Okay, now the problem is that u is on the bottom of my fraction, and as we know, we need to move that. We can't just move the top. So if it's dividing, fractions mean divide, I'm going to bring it across as a multiplication. So u has to multiply the whole fraction that we've set up. And this all equals 1. Now the thing I have to do is get u by itself. U is currently multiplying these things. So I'm going to bring the whole thing across as a really messy looking division. And let's fix that because we don't like fractions on fractions. Remember, instead of dividing by fractions, we can flip and multiply. So that's what we're going to do. So instead of dividing, so hang on, let me use a different color. Instead of dividing by this whole fraction, I'm going to flip it upside down and multiply instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to times it by fv over v minus f. And remember, anything by itself is just over 1, right? Means the same thing. And 1 times anything is just itself. So we end up with fv over v minus f. Now, this is a very difficult question. So if you didn't get it right, that's okay. Just think back to this first step over here where I combined my fractions. That's probably the important step at the start you may have missed. Combine your fractions, make sure they have common denominators. Then if you have to divide by a fraction, remember to flip and multiply. That's what we always want to do.